When the big three oil sands companies announced thousands of layoffs, one number that doesn't show up is the thousands of contract workers from electricians, welders, pipe fitters, work camp cooks, cleaners, and other unionized trades that also get laid off as a ripple effect spreads across the province. Does the Minister of Economic Development know how many contract jobs have been eliminated with NDP-initiated downsizing of oil sands?
The Honourable Minister of Economic Development and Trade.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I'll thank the member for the question. First and foremost, the number of layoffs that have occurred are attributed to the fact that there is a dramatic and sustained drop in the world price of oil, something which the government of Alberta, despite what the opposition says, we do not control. Mr. Speaker, we are a price taker, not a price maker. But we acknowledge that it has been a rough couple of years for a lot of Alberta families and communities and workers, and that's exactly why we announced our Alberta Jobs Plan, which has a historic investment in infrastructure and new projects with a number of other initiatives to help get Albertans back to work.
First supplement.
Mr. Speaker, given this minister has responsibilities for growing the economy, and yet so many, like the engineers and unionized trades, here protesting on Tuesday, proved that the minister is killing jobs rather than creating jobs, and given that my friends and former colleagues cannot find jobs because the oil companies are leaving Alberta due to this government, with more pink slips are still being handed to employees outweighing new jobs, will the minister admit his job creation plan as a complete and utter failure?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish the member opposite and his party would actually look at the statistics and facts that are coming out. Number one, Conference Board of Canada is projecting that Alberta's economy will grow by 3.3% this year, highest and fastest growth out of any province in the country. Mr. Speaker, full-time employment rose for the third straight month. Alberta led the country in private sector investment last year and is on track this year. The number of cars sold in Alberta, for example, is up 15%. Alberta operators drilled just shy of 2,000 wells during the first 3 months.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Second supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, given the minister said he would create 100,000 jobs, and yet we are negative 60,000 jobs, which is 160,000 jobs away from his promise, given that on Tuesday, faces behind the jobs he destroyed came here and the minister was too busy to meet with them until he was shamed into by the protests, can the minister explain why he disrespects the unemployed by refusing to meet with relevant stakeholders until they come in the hundreds knocking on his door?
Chair. The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The only kernel of truth in that preamble was the fact that there were dozens of workers that came up to the Alberta legislature. Mr. Speaker, not only did the Minister of Energy, along with staff from Economic Development and Trade and Labour, meet with this group, after they came here, both the Minister of Labour and myself met with them. Mr. Speaker, there are a number of announcements that have been made that are going to be putting engineers back to work in this province, including the fact that Pembina Pick, one of the successful PDP applicants, will be tendering a $100 million contract for detailed design work that will be going to engineers. Mr. Speaker, as far as